Well, welcome to another video here. This is going to be Excel Module 3, the end of Module Project 1. So I already have the file opened up, the start file. Notice that it does have my name in here, and I'm just going to save it. I'm just replacing the 1 with a 2. I've already done this, so I'm going to get a message that says it already exists, which I did. So now we're good. So I have this blank file. So what it tells us here in the very beginning for the project steps that Jaden Keller manages the lawn and garden departments at Hargrove Home Improvement Stores throughout the Pacific Northwest. He created an Excel workbook to track inventory and details about the stock at one of the stores, and he has asked you to complete the calculations of the workbook. So if you know Excel, you can go to work for Jaden Keller. So we're going to go to the inventory worksheet, which is right here, and in cell B3, we're going to insert the date. So here is B3, and very easy to do the date several different ways. So I'm going to do it from the formulas, and I'm going to click on date and time and choose the date function. So now we do the year, the month, and the day. So the year is 2021, the month is 5, and the day is 5. Now remember, when you have a Mac, or if you have a Mac, it will only show 21 and not 2021. Also notice that this 44321, when you convert a date, it actually is a number. However, we're displaying it as a date, but just keep in the back of your mind that it actually is a number. That's going to be important because you can actually subtract dates. So here we have 5521. Remember, if you have a Mac, it's just going to say 5521. In E5, which happens to be E5 over here, we're going to calculate the on-hand value, which is really fairly simple. We're just going to multiply the amount on hand, which in this case is 20, by the wholesale price. So I'm going to hit the equal sign. And it does tell you to do it without using the formula. There's a formula called product, but let's just do it manually. So it's equals the price times the on-hand. We could have done the on-hand times the price, which would be the same. And of course, we have 210. Now, this is very important. When you go down and you fill it, it wants you to fill it without formatting. So we're going to fill it, and let's do the fill without formatting. So that took care of that. You could also drag it down here and use this one as well, fill without format. So there's two different ways to do it. That was number 2, and that was, let's see, in cell 3, we're going to do 5, cell F5. Here's F5. We want to find the retail price. Now here we have to make use of absolute reference. So you find the retail price by multiplying the wholesale price times the markup, which is 1.35. So we're going to do, again, equal sign the wholesale price times the markup. So I've got to hit the times key first. Now, very important, we do not want the markup, the L3, to change as we drag down to L4, L5, L6. We want to keep it the same, so we're going to just make sure that we hit F4. If you don't like doing that way, then you can manually insert the dollar signs. So once we do this, we have 1408. Now here it doesn't want us to drag and drop. I believe it wants us to copy it. So yes. So we're going to click on copy. Then I'm going to drag all the way down here, and I'm going to go up top to my home and choose paste values. So here we have our paste special. We want to use the formulas and number formatting. So that takes care of that. Actually, I did say paste values, but I should not have said it. Paste values doesn't paste the formula. It just would paste the value. So let's go. That was number 3. In column H, Jaden wants to display how long the pants have been in inventory. So that's where we're going to subtract the dates. So we're going to subtract the in-stock date from the actual date. So we can do that very easily. So we're going to do equals this date over here minus the in-stock date. And that gives us 33. So now we're going to drag down again and fill without formatting. So here is our autofill options. Now, notice what I did. I messed up, and I did it on purpose, just to show you, if you get this, that the issue is you did not use absolute reference. So we went over here, notice it's G6, then we divided this, we divided this, we divided or actually subtracted, and you can see how the values are all wrong. So let's go back and do it again. And this time I'm going to select B3, and I'm going to hit F4, and let's do it again. And that looks a little bit better. We'll fill without formatting. So hopefully that I did this correctly. I will check later on. Now we have reorder. So we just did number 4. Number 5, we're going to go to, let's see, Jaden wants to display a reminder to reorder plants if the store has 10 or fewer plants on hand. So here we're going to actually use an if function, several different ways that you can do it. So let's just go to formulas and logical and make it easy on ourselves. So here's our logical, and here's our if. So what we want to do is we want to test to see if there's what the stock level is. So let me read it in Jaden Gel A5, insert a formula using the if function to test if the number of plants on hand is less than or equal to 10. So we have our if, so now this is our test. So on hand here, if D5 is less than or equal to 10. If that's the case, we need to reorder. So I'm just going to put in a Y here. Notice I'm not putting in any quotes because it'll fill it in. Later on when we do something, we will have to fill the quotes in. And if not, we want Y for true, N for false. So let's just click on here is false. This will be yes and no. So obviously the answer here is going to be no. And then we're going to just copy everything down again and fill without formatting. So that takes care of that. So now we are going to go to step number 6. Jaden puts plants on sale if they have been in inventory for 40 days or more and the store is not reordering more plants. So we're going to put that in column J. So let's go to J5, insert a formula. We're going to use the and. So here we're going to be looking for two specific things that must both be true. That the cell I5 is equal to N, the one that we just did, the reorder is equal to N, and the days in inventory is greater than 40. So we're going to go to logical again, and we will choose and. And then I'm going to click in I5. So now we have to type in the quotes, but let me show you what will happen is if you don't. It should give me an error in red telling me invalid something or other. So let's see what it says. Okay, it's the name. And that's because there's no range name called N, or there is no such thing as a cell reference N. So here what we're just going to do is change this and put in quotes. And just to be on the safe side, I'm making it a capital N to match this over here. So if that is true and the H5 is greater than 40, so here's H5 must be greater than 40. So this one's false. Now because both of them have to be true, we're going to get a result as being false. So let's go and click on OK and see what happens. And we did. Let's go down and drag. Fill without formatting. So we just have, this one is true because it's a no and greater than 40. This is true, no, and greater than 58. This is true, no, and greater than 50. This is false because even though it's greater than 40, we have a reorder yes. So that works out good here. So let's continue to see what's happening here. Number 7, Jaden raised plants A, B, and C, which you can see in column K. And what we want to do is to see if it qualifies for a discount by joining the store's garden club. Well, who does not want to be in the store's garden club? So in cell A5, we're going to insert a formula using an OR. So in this particular case, only one or the other needs to be true. So it wants us to check to see if gate 5 equals A, which is the quality rating, or the reorder indicator equals yes. So let's go here and choose the OR. And we need L, let's see, go to K5 equals A. And we'll check to see if the other is, let me look at that, it wants to I5 equals Y. I'm just going to type this in, equals Y. So notice this is true, this is false, but because one is true, the result will be true. And then I'm just going to drag it down, and I'm going to fill without formatting. So that looks good there. So now I have just done number 7. I'm going to go to number 8. Jaden likes attractive details about all the plants in inventory. So in cell C18, we're going to use the count A. Now I'm going to use count instead of count A, and you'll see what will happen. The difference between count and count A is count only counts cells that have numeric values, where count A means basically count anything that has something in a cell. So let's go and choose, well, where is count? Well, it's not under logical. It could be under financial. But let's go into more functions and let's try statistical. So if you don't like doing it that way, you can, I'll show you right after that. Let's just do it this way here. And we're going to put in count. And we want to count all of this row here. And we should come back with a 0 because none of these are numeric. And we did come back with 0. So I'm going to show you a trick on how to fix this. But before I do, if you didn't have any idea where count or count A is, you can just go into the FX, or you can actually click in here. And since we already have something in here, I'm just going to click somewhere else. I'm going to click on Insert Function, and I will just type in count. Click on Go, and you can see anything that begins with count is there. So because I have something so simple, I don't want to redo it again. I'm just going to click in the formula bar, put it in A, and now it changed to 11. So now we want to have the average number on hand. Pretty easy. We have the auto sum available right here, and we just want average. What do we want the average is? The ones that are on hand. I'm going to click enter, and that should be 14. Now we're going to get the average of the on-hand amounts, and then we need to round it up to the next highest cent. So first we'll do the average, and we want the on-hand value, which I believe is something like $20.18. Let's see what it actually comes out to. Okay, we need to expand this a little more. I may have gone too far down. Let's see. To 15. Nope, that's right. So, all right. So that is definitely wrong. So let me go in and reread what I was supposed to do. Okay, the retail prices. So let's try this again. So let me click on the average of the retail price. A lot of these things I do by memory, so I'm trying to avoid going back and forth and losing my place. So let's try this again, see what happens. And it's $20.18. So now what we need to do is round up. So the easiest way to do it is just click right after the equal sign and before the A and start typing round. So now as you see round, round down, round up. So let's go to round up. And I actually messed up because I should have double clicked and I did not. So let's try that again. So let's double click. And notice that it filled it in for me. So now all we need to do is type in comma 1 and the closing parentheses. And that gives us $20.20. That is the entire end of Module 1. So hopefully this was helpful and look forward to seeing you again.